Was the crowd trolling tonight? Because they had to be. With the "This is awesome" chants we got, these matches, like the crowd started chanting "This is awesome." I'm over here like, what did I miss? What didn't I see? Because I'm watching the same product. I'm watching the same matches. Because there is in no possible universe where you need to be chanting "This is awesome" for a Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer versus the Judgment Day match. There's no possible universe where you would have to be chanting "This is awesome" in a El Grande Americano versus Penta match. What? When I tell you I was so dumbfounded, I was so confused. I'm like, come on. It's like, I felt like WWE was throwing up cue cards or something like, chant "This is awesome," put out your phone lights or something. It had to be. Because there's no way the crowd, with what they were saying, they were chanting "This is awesome." I'm like, come on. This is why we keep getting the same matches, man. This was not awesome, okay? I repeat, this was not awesome. But anyhow, though, on this week's episode of Raw, it was alright, I guess. I don't know. It was passable, maybe. But we did get a couple cool things on this show that I must say. I did really like that Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio promo. That was pretty fun, in my opinion. And the interactions we got between Logan Paul and the Vision, it seems like Logan Paul is now officially part of the Vision, so I guess that's pretty cool. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I will talk about that later on in the video. But I thought that was pretty cool as well. And I also did really like the fact that we got a couple of the matches announced for the John Cena tournament. That was pretty cool too. So I enjoyed that. And the matches, like I said, they weren't terrible, but they also weren't good. Like some of them were like definitely watchable. They were definitely passable. And others were just like, why are you wasting my time with this? I've seen this already. I know how this is going to end. I already know what's going to go down. So like some of the matches, they weren't terrible. Like, they weren't good, but they were definitely watchable. Most of them anyway. Some of them anyway. Like two of them anyway. Maybe one of them anyway. But anyhow, let's get right into this review. Let's get right into this breakdown. But before that, as always, the quote of the day. Your future doesn't need your fear. It needs your footsteps. Small steps still outrun standing still. Fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. That is your quote of the day. Now let's get right into this video. Let's get right into this review. Let's get right into this breakdown. So we started off this episode with a CM Punk in-ring promo. And CM Punk came out absolutely ecstatic. This man was so happy. He was so over the moon that he got his championship back. And the crowd was cheering, "You deserve it." And Punk was just drinking all that in. He's finally holding his championship. He's finally made it to where he wanted to be. So he was kind of just drinking in the moment and he was enjoying it, which was pretty cool. It was a nice sight to see. Then CM Punk went on to thank a gang of individuals. He thanked his wife, he thanked the fans, he even thanked Jey Uso for the match they had on Saturday. After that, though, Punk went on to say that going forward, he's going to hold on to his championship as tight and as hard as he possibly can. He's not losing this. He's not fumbling it. He's going to hold on to his title as hard as he can. And he said that this time around, there's no snake in the grass. There's no Seth Rollins to ruin everything. And Punk went on to say that he knows that since he's champion now, he has a target on his back. He knows that there's already people lined up. There's already a line. There's already a queue. But CM Punk wants to be a fighting champion. And CM Punk went on to name drop a few dream matches, a few dream opponents, which was pretty cool. And he even named John Cena. And he ended his promo basically saying that, "John Cena, if you want a shot at this, you could come for the crown too. I'm not opposed to that either. Anybody who wants it, come get it. And the champ is here." And I thought that was a pretty cool little tribute. After Punk said that, he was about to leave the ring. Then he went on to get interrupted by none other than Logan Paul himself, the Maverick. So Logan Paul came out and he said, "If anybody deserves a shot at this championship, then it's me. I face people in the ring like Roman Reigns, John Cena, and I've even beaten AJ Styles, who you name dropped. So I should get a shot at this championship. I deserve it. I'm owed a shot at this championship." And after Logan Paul said this, Paul Heyman and the Braun Browns ended up coming out and they told Logan Paul that he's not first in line. As a matter of fact, he's not even standing in line. And they issued a challenge and a warning to both CM Punk and Logan Paul that you better get out of my ring right now. I'm going to leave all of you laid out. And then we went on to get a big brawl between Logan Paul, CM Punk, and the Braun Browns. And surprisingly enough, Logan Paul decided to help out CM Punk, mainly because he got disrespected and pushed and attacked. But besides that, though, he did try to defend off against the Braun Browns, but the Braun Browns ended up leaving both CM Punk and Logan Paul absolutely laid out. And that was your opening segment, and that was your opening shot, with the Braun Browns just basically leaving someone laid out once again, and that's how your show kicks off. But anyhow, after this, we got on to our first match of the night, and it was La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there was no redeeming factors about this match. This match was boring, and there's not really much to say about it. And like I said, I was shocked and surprised at the fact that the crowd was chanting "This is awesome," because I didn't know where, I didn't know what happened. I'm like, what are we cheering "This is awesome" for? But that's besides the point. But like I said, though, there's not really much to say about it. The Judgment Day ended up picking up the win over Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. And next week, we're going to get a Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez match for the Women's Championship, which makes no sense because, like, I guess winning a tag team match earns you a shot at the title. And to make matters worse, Raquel Rodriguez wasn't even the one to pin Stephanie Vaquer. Roxanne Perez pinned Nikki Bella. So why is it Raquel Rodriguez getting a shot at the women's championship after winning a tag team match, which she didn't even pin the champion in. Like, make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Anyhow, after that, we went on to get our second match of the night. And our second match of the night was Penta, Mr. Cero Miedo, versus El Grande Americano for some odd reason. I don't know why this match was happening. Because 2 weeks ago, I believe, El Grande Americano, Rio, and Bravo, they attacked Rusev. So why is this match happening against Penta? But that's besides the point too, I guess, right? Let's just ignore the facts. Let's ignore what we've seen, okay? But anyhow, like I said, I don't know why this match happened. I don't know who asked for it, but it was a match. It happened. We've seen this match before, and I'm almost certain that Penta has faced all the versions of El Grande Americano now. So that's that. I don't know why we're still getting Penta versus El Grande Americano at this point. No story, no nothing, no stakes, just for air. But anyhow, we did get to the match, and I did enjoy the match, but I only enjoyed like the last few minutes of the match. I started enjoying at the point where Rio and Bravo started getting ejected from ringside, and we got some cool sequences after that, some cool high-flying moves. I really just enjoyed the end. The start of the match, like the first 50% of the match, absolutely boring, absolutely didn't matter. And then we got onto the end of it. That's when it started picking up a little bit. That's when it started getting a little bit more interesting, a little bit more watchable, and we got some high-flying moves from Penta. We got El Grande Americano loading up his mask with the steel plate. He ended up getting super kicked and Mexican power drivered off the top rope onto his loaded mask, which was pretty cool. So that's the stuff I enjoyed. But besides that, though, the rest of the match, nothing to say, nothing to talk about. It was boring. But anyhow, at the end of the match, surprisingly enough, El Grande Americano got beat, pinned, and defeated by Penta. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen El Grande Americano lose on a WWE TV episode. After this, we got an in-ring promo from Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio basically came out just celebrating the fact that he won on Saturday Night Main Event, that he defended and retained his Intercontinental Championship. So Dominic Mysterio basically just came out saying that he was the greatest Mysterio of all time, the greatest luchador of all time, that he's the king of luchadors. And after he said this, Rey Mysterio was backstage, I guess, and he heard that nonsense. He's like, let me straighten out my son real quick, because I'm not about to let him spew out nonsense in front of all these people. Anyways, Rey Mysterio ended up coming out to confront his son, and it was announced while he was making his entrance that Rey Mysterio is officially medically cleared. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. I'm really happy for him that he's medically cleared. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a match between these two, Dirty Dominic and Rey Mysterio, so that's pretty neat. Anyhow, though, Rey Mysterio basically came out and he confronted his son. He told Dominic Mysterio, I can put up with you calling yourself the greatest Mysterio of all time. I can put up with you disrespecting me, but I will not let you disrespect our culture or our tradition by calling yourself the king of luchadors. Do you think you're better than Blue Demon? Do you think you're better than El Santo? Do you think you're better than Eddie Guerrero? Do you think you're the greatest luchador of all time? Do you think you're better than them? Honestly. And Dirty Dominic Mysterio told Rey Mysterio the funniest line ever. Dirty Dominic told Rey, keep my father's name out your mouth. I'm like, really? That was so funny to me. That was the funniest thing. And then Dirty Dominic Mysterio went on to say that, yes, I am better than them, and I'm even better than the one man you didn't name. I'm better than you. And Rey Mysterio told Dirty Dominic Mysterio that, you can disrespect me, but I will never let you disrespect Lucha Libre. And Dom responded by saying, or what? I can't disrespect him, or what? What are you going to do about it? Look at you. You just want the spotlight. You're jealous. You even copied my mustache. I've already surpassed everything you've ever done in your career. I made the Mysterio name relevant. So get out of my ring. Rey Mysterio went on to tell Dirty Dominic Mysterio, all right, I'll leave. But before I leave, I want you to remember these three things. As long as I'm around, you'll never be the king of luchadors. As long as I'm here, this will never be your ring. And as long as I'm alive, you will never be the greatest Mysterio. And then we went on to get a little scuffle between these two men, and Rey Mysterio ended up hitting Dirty Dominic Mysterio with a 619. But anyhow, after this, we went on to get our third match of the night, and it was the Kabuki Warriors versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. And was this a match? Yes, definitely, this was definitely a match. Was it good on the other hand? Debatable. I don't know what else to say about this match. It happened. It was all right, I guess. Nothing crazy. It wasn't even too special either. It wasn't anything crazy or anything too special. There's really not much to say about it. It was a match. It was definitely a match, like I said. It was all right. It was passable maybe in some universe, not this one though. And Lyra Valkyria ended up tapping out to the Oscar lock, so the Kabuki Warriors did end up picking up the win over Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, which was pretty shocking, which was pretty unexpected, but I guess since they are going to be facing the tag team champions, they do need to be built up. They do need to win, so I'm not mad at the outcome. I'm not mad at the results. I'm not mad at it at all. This match, though, just could have been a little bit better. It could have been a lot better. It could have been way better, as a matter of fact. That's my only complaint, but that's that. Anyhow, after this, we went on to get our fourth match of the night, and it was Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus AJ Styles in a rematch for the tag team championships. And this match also was all right. Nothing crazy, nothing insane, nothing special. Just a basic match, honestly. Their first match was definitely way better. The match where AJ Styles and Dragon Lee won the championships. That was definitely way better. That was better by a mile. This match, though, it didn't live up to the standards. It didn't live up to the hype. And we had the announcers talking about this is a rematch of a classic that we saw 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? A classic that we saw 2 weeks ago? If it happened 2 weeks ago, how's it already a classic? And secondly, if it happened 2 weeks ago, why do we already need a rematch? Thirdly, just don't say anything if you don't have anything to say, commentators. Jesus, I don't need to be rage baited like this. Man. But anyhow, though, throughout this match, we got shenanigans from Dirty Dominic Mysterio and even Sheamus. Both of those men came out ringside. They were fighting against each other, so that was pretty neat, I guess. But anyhow, though, at the end of the match, AJ Lee, aka AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, were able to beat the Judgment Day, and they were able to retain their tag team championships, and that was that. And after this, we got a horrendous backstage segment between Nikki Bella and Stephanie Valkyrie. And let me just say, this was one of the worst delivered backstage segments I've ever had the displeasure of hearing and watching. And I'm telling you right here, right now, Nikki Bella cannot cut a promo to save her life. Why was she talking like that? Why was she delivering the lines like that? And I'm like, who wrote down these cringy, generic, silly lines for them to say? This was so bad. They literally just had a horrendous glaze session. That was what it was. Stephanie Valkyrie was glazing Nikki Bella for whatever reason. Nikki Bella was glazing Stephanie Valkyrie for whatever reason, and they were saying it in the most cringy way I've ever heard. And Nikki Bella was just talking like, if you've ever watched the movie White Chicks, something resembling that. That's how Nikki Bella was talking and delivering these lines. I'm like, what? Why? Just why? And why did we even need this glaze session at that? I don't know, but we're just gonna move on. Anyhow, after this, we got our first 2 matches confirmed for the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. And the first 2 matches are gonna be number 1, Rusev versus Damian Priest, and number 2, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. So those are our first 2 matches that are going to happen, which is pretty neat, pretty cool. I do like these matchups. They're different, they're new, so I'm not complaining about them. They should be pretty good, especially that Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura match. That's going to be an absolute banger, okay? So I'm kind of excited for that one. Anyhow, after that, we went on to get our 5th and final match of the night, and it was our main event. And the main event was the Bron Browns versus Jey Uso and CM Punk. And let me just say, this match, it was alright or whatever, but we've seen this nonsense 30 million times before. There's nothing worth getting hype over. There's nothing worth getting excited over. I've already seen this. I already know how it's going to end. If it's not no contest, it's going to be no DQ. But actually, to my surprise, they did something different. It ended in double countout. Like, come on, man. Come on. Don't waste our time like this. Our precious minutes, hours, seconds. Don't waste them like this. But the match itself, though, it wasn't terrible by any means, but I've just already seen this before, so I wasn't really hyped about it. But the one thing I can say is that the crowd really seemed to enjoy it. The crowd really seemed to be behind it, which was really nice. So I'm happy for the crowd. I'm happy that they enjoyed it. So that was cool. But anyhow, though, the match did end up ending in a double count out, like I said. But anyhow, though, the best part of this match actually happened after the match ended. We got the Bron Browns, Jey Uso, and CM Punk having a huge brawl, and both these parties threw hands, feet, and even steel chairs. And at the end of the match, we got Logan Paul coming out to even defend CM Punk and Jey Uso. So it would seem, but he actually ended up taking out some brass knuckles, and he lined up CM Punk with the meanest right hook, and he left CM Punk laid out, and Logan Paul went on to hand his brass knuckles to Paul Heyman. So it seems like Jake Paul might have joined the Vision, or is joining the Vision, which is pretty cool in my opinion. That's a pretty cool idea. I kind of like it. I don't hate it, honestly. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't think Logan Paul will be the one to save or revive the Vision, but at least it's something new, it's something different, and it makes a little sense because the name of the group is the Vision, the future. That's the whole story behind it. And looking at these 3 men, they are the future. So that's pretty cool. I really like the idea of Logan Paul being part of it. He weirdly enough really fits in. I don't know why, but he really fits in. So I kind of really like this idea. I like this new direction they're moving towards. It's pretty neat. But my one thing is, why would you join the group after they jumped you at the start of the show? Like, it makes no sense. They literally jump you, left you laid out. You got hit with a spear. You got hit with a tsunami, and you joined the group right after that. Like, what kind of weird initiation was Logan Paul a part of? Like, what are we doing? But anyhow, that was the only thing I didn't like. But I do like the fact that he is joining the group, that it seems like he's a new member, and maybe this new Vision angle might work. Maybe it might turn into something interesting, something worth watching. Fingers crossed. But I'm going to let this play out first before I say too much, before I say anything else. But anyhow, though, that was their whole show. It ended off with Logan Paul joining the Vision. So it would seem. So that's that, and that's how your show ended. But anyhow, though, overall, I'd have to rate this episode of Monday Night Raw solid 4 out of 10. There wasn't really too many matches I enjoyed, maybe 1 or 2, but besides that, though, there's really nothing else to talk about. The main part I did enjoy was the promo segments, the backstage segments. That was literally the main things I enjoyed. But besides that, though, this show, there's really nothing else to say, nothing much to add on to it to make it even sound interesting, because it genuinely wasn't. Most of the matches really didn't matter. They were for air. We just got a whole bunch of tag team matches, and that was that. So overall, I would have have to rate it a solid 4 out of 10. And probably that's a generous 4 out of 10 too. So not like a well-deserved 4 out of 10, just a generous 4 out of 10 out of the kindness of my heart. But anyhow, though, that was your review and your breakdown of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Anyways, thank you for showing up. Thank you for hearing me out. And thank you for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.